to another Arrow episode review and my thoughts on tonight's episode of Arrow titled Unchained. And this season so far, especially the last few episodes, have been really starting to pick up for me. And if you guys have been watching my videos for any period of time, you'll know that for a while this show, well, basically since like season 3, this show is, I've been really disappointed with it up until recently. And season 4 for the most part was really like hit or miss for me, except for like the Flash and Arrow crossover, the Constantine episode. It felt like really lackluster. It didn't really have any focus, but these last few episodes, I gotta say honestly, I've been really starting to pique my interest back into the show, and that's something I didn't think I would actually say. I mean, yes, as an Arrow fan, I hope that the show would get better, but as I'm watching the show, I'm enjoying myself, and what I'm seeing is pretty damn good. I mean, except for like those weird villains of the week that we really don't need. In this episode, obviously the villain of the week is setting up for future storylines, with it being with the calculator being Felicity's dad. I feel like that could have been handled a little better, but other than that, everything else about this episode, besides the calculator stuff, I actually really enjoyed. So to kick things off in my review, one of my favorite things about tonight's episode was Roy coming back into the show. Yeah, he's leaving again, but seeing him back on the show just reminds me of how much I actually got to really like the Roy character. And in first season, I really didn't care for him. I didn't like him. I didn't hate him, but he was just kind of there for me. Season 2, I started to like him a little more here and there. I really didn't start liking him more until the end. But it wasn't until season 3, when after he finally became Arsenal and all that stuff, that we finally started to see real growth in the character and seeing a lot more much more. I'm slurring my words here, but a more mature side of Roy that we hadn't really seen before. And now, when he comes back into this episode, he seems like you still feel like it's Roy, but he feels like, I just feel he's like so much more grown up and a lot more mature than he was when he left. Even when he left, he was still really mature, but even now that I feel like there's even more growth in the character, that, like, I miss Colton Haynes on the show. Like, I really, really do. Colton Haynes and his portrayal of Wally Harper has gotten better and better and better. And when he came onto the show tonight, I missed him. I really did. And I was really sad to see him go again. And I don't know if it was for budgetary reasons that they couldn't keep him on or whatever. Because obviously Colton Haynes, like, he's a part of this Arrow universe. And it seems like he enjoys being a part of it. And he has a real good relationship with his co-stars, especially with Emily Bent Rickards. And I've seen a lot of that on social media, but that's straying from the point. So I really enjoyed seeing him back. The opening scene and the whole like Nyssa angle of it. I'm glad. First of all, I'm happy to see Nyssa back because I feel like she's been really underused this season. Maybe I kind of understandable because last season was all about Ra's al Ghul, so they had to have a lot more of Nyssa last season. But Nyssa's become one of my favorite like secondary characters in the show. She's just so badass. Katrina Law does a really kick-ass job with the character, even in the portrayal of it. Or her character as Nyssa. And seeing her in this episode where she's going after the Lotus and she meets up with Tatsu. And I wonder if they're even going to bring her back, because I feel like I mentioned this last week, I think. This show has made a really big effort to kill off any characters tied to the Suicide Squad universe. Because the whole Suicide Squad movie coming out, and they don't want fans to be confused, so they kill off Amanda Waller, they kill off Deadshot. I assume they were going to kill off Katana. I hope not. I hope that the show can maintain both versions of this character. I mean, Tatsu as a character was kind of hit or miss for me last season, but it was nice seeing her back. Like, I didn't like hate her or like seeing her. I thought it was kind of cool that when her and Nyssa had that fight. I really liked that a lot. The Cadmus Tech or whatever reference to Cadmus Labs possibly. Like the organization or like the laboratories that created Superboy among other characters in the DC universe, that was heavily featured in the Cartoon Network show Young Justice, and even in Smallville too, when they brought in Connor Kent and Superboy in the show. So I wonder if maybe that's an Easter egg. Maybe it's just an Easter egg. More than likely it will be. But who knows? I mean, we got Flash going over to Supergirl as of today. So I mean, maybe. I guess we'll see. The flashbacks, I've said this before, the flashbacks don't do anything for me anymore. And I mean, yes, it was kind of cool seeing the whole vision of Shadow and her trying to get Oliver to try to let go of his darkness. But I did enjoy that. But at the same time, I feel like Oliver on the island needs to get darker because of where we saw him at the beginning of season 1. It just feels like it's really, and still the fact that they shaved his head. I just, maybe because Stephen Amell just hated wearing that wig. Makes no sense to the character. The flashbacks I really don't care. In fact, that he killed that chick's sister, and Shadow called, "Oh, you're your love." He's like, "I don't even love her." Like, okay, I just feel like the flashbacks are useless. While I did enjoy the whole Shadow Vision thing, the flashbacks I still think are really useless at this point. You know, because last season they were really disappointing. Season 2 they were still good. Season 1 was the strongest season when it came to flashbacks. So yeah. Let's see what else. I did like that scene towards the end of the episode with Curtis trying to, instill some confidence into Felicity with the whole speech towards, the board or whoever the Polymer Tech people are, about that, the goal, whatever the fuel cell, whatever they're making. I don't really care. No, I'm just saying, like that aspect of the episode I didn't really pay much attention to. But I did like that scene of him trying to, tell her to be more confident in herself, be the Felicity that he sees, not the Felicity that just all overthinking things and being not as being confident in herself. I like that little speech, and I do like seeing little bits and pieces of the Curtis character more. Obviously, at some point he's going to become Mr. Terrific, and I don't mind that. But if they are going to make him Mr. Terrific, I would like to see him more on have more to do, or maybe send him over to Flash or Legends of Tomorrow or something. Do something with that character, damn it. And that's funny because when Oliver initially tries to go to that meeting with Damien Dark, and he has that little shoulder whatevers, and he pulls it out, and he gets that basic little message on that little whatever, this little pager. I was really he has that as a communication device. I'm just like, dude, it's 2016 and you have a pager basically. Yeah, and then of course the ending scene, and then seeing the relationship of Thea and Oliver and even Malcolm Merlyn. I feel like and now I'm at a point with Malcolm Merlyn that I'm kind of okay with the character again. Again, now that he's not being so heavily featured in the show, and he's obviously not the main villain right now, and the whole angle of now that Nyssa is gonna give Oliver Lotus if he kills Malcolm Merlyn. I wonder if he's actually gonna do it. I don't know at this point. I feel like they're really not going to do it. Something's going to happen where they give her the Lotus anyway. Or maybe Thea is the one in the grave. Who knows at this point. But I don't know. I'll get into more speculation next week after we find out what happens with the whole Malcolm Merlyn thing. And some things that had some problems with the episode. When Oliver was chasing after Roy towards the beginning of the episode, and everyone was in the error cave, and Roy was going after the whatever tech the calculator wanted him to get. Why didn't Oliver get into his arrow gear? Why run after the guy as Oliver Queen? Wouldn't that be I don't know. That just kind of took me out. But that was just being a nitpicky thing. And then, why does every villain want to destroy the city? Seriously, in everyday situations, how often does someone really gonna try to destroy a city? Literally never. This show, every other week, has someone or the big villain try to destroy the city. It's an overused plot device. We don't need it. And I'm tired of it. So, there's that. And the whole My Life, My Choice thing was really overused. Because that was something that they used in Season 2 with Felicity. Same thing with Thea. And then Royce says, it's come on, okay, we get it. You don't need to have every character in the damn show say it. My life, my choice. Her life, her choice. His life, his choice. Okay, we freaking get it, okay? But that was really it. Other than, the calculator being to me at this point. It does obviously introduce a new interesting story point with her being, or them bringing in Felicity's dad. So I guess we'll see what happens with that. So I think that's going to be it for me, guys. If you guys like what you see here, go ahead and hit subscribe below. I do review all this superhero stuff every week. Supergirl on Mondays, Flash on Tuesdays, Arrow obviously on Wednesdays, Legends of Tomorrow on Thursdays, and like I said earlier in the show, they are bringing Flash into Supergirl sometime in March, probably around the time the Batman v Superman comes out, so I'm really excited for that. So yeah, I think that's going to be it for me, guys. So yeah, until next time, have a good one.